is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the KCSN Defensive Breakdown, brought to you by Derrick Johnson's Defend the Dream Foundation. I am joined, as always, by the man himself, Derrick Johnson, and my guy, Big Mike DeVito. Fellas, we talked about it a little bit last week. Not falling into a trap game, taking care of business, making sure a bad team looks bad. DJ, they made a bad team look even worse than bad this week. What a defensive performance.
Yeah, Craig, you're absolutely right. I mean, being a team that plays high level, plays at a standard each week, perfect game for some teams in the league to say, Chicago's not doing that good. They come to town, put our guards down a little bit, and we go at a slugfest. I've seen it happen. I've been on teams that it happened before, but I'll tell you what, the Chiefs are so focused. I mean, the one thing I love, and the offense was back on key, right? They were on, but defensively, just every week, just consistent. That's going to help us later down the road. Like we said last week, we know what the Pat Mahomes show looks like, and we want to see it every week. May not. It doesn't matter. Defensively, just be consistent, and man, they're building a muscle that's going to last, and I can't wait, man. The Chiefs look great.
They really do. They really do. And to your point, DJ, if the Chiefs continue play complimentary football like they did this weekend, it doesn't matter if it's Chicago. It doesn't matter who it is. They're going to put up 40 and hold them to 10. I mean, look at these numbers. I don't care. This is still the NFL. But look at this defensive performance. 203 total yards for Chicago, 87 passing, 116 rushing. I mean, that's absolute. Those are still pros over there. 203 total yards on offense. I mean, that's an ass kicking. And so, the offense is back. This is every team's worst nightmare is a complimentary Kansas City Chiefs team, and that's what they showed. And again, I don't care who it is. They're going to be, if they play together like that, they're going to be killing everybody.
Yeah, and that a lot of those yards there that you're talking about, Mike, happened when the starters were pulled. I mean, this was a performance that into the fourth quarter, they had done a lot of good work. They had 130 yards allowed. It through, basically when the starters came out, midway through the fourth quarter, and a drive at the end of the game that ends up being a touchdown drive puts another 74 yards on that. It's just a terrific, insane performance by that. Do you guys think there's anything here, and maybe you've been around the league long enough to kind of see some of this, if you got a whole bunch of young guys that are that level of hungry, they don't have that kind of mentality that kind of sets in sometimes where it's we should take care of business against these guys. Do you think that it's something like that, or do you think the coaching staff just genuinely has everybody bought in and on board with this kind of performance each and every week?
Yeah, I think everybody's bought in. Obviously, when you have Kelsey and you have Pat Mahomes, you have these big time players, and you have a couple young guys that's on, Chris Jones being, the big bear in the middle, but having a guy like Nick Bolton, the guys that are young but very experienced, very high character guys, and this team is led by none other than Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid's, I think, done a heck of a job by getting their minds ready, building this culture up, that it doesn't matter. You have some staples that's going to be there always, like Pat and these guys, and Chris Jones and Nick Bolton, these guys, and Colt and Kelsey. But you have just guys coming in, and they may not be superstars, but they play hard and they're doing their job. And Steve Spagnuolo is having a great start of a defensive year. I love that they love, it doesn't matter what the offense does, especially the first couple of weeks. The offense wasn't too good or whatever going out, even on turnovers or whatever. They love to play defense. I remember that feeling, and Mike knows what I'm talking about, when they said, turnover down, sudden change. It doesn't even matter what happened. All right, cool. We just won't let them score. It doesn't. We play defense. We can't control what you can control, and they're doing that right now.
Yeah, and I think another thing, too, when you think about the sort of the level that the young guys are playing at,
yeah,
they can really relax. I mean, look at, I think back to the first year that KC won the Super Bowl, where they came back from like 40 down every playoff game. These guys, so like when I was there, DJ, if you fast back to our time, like we had a lot of all-star players on defense, but we didn't, the offense was good, but we didn't really have an offense where we were like, if our offense matched our defense as far as all-star talent, some guys can rip because screw it, play with swagger, play with confidence. If you make a mistake, it doesn't matter because, Chris Jones, you got Kels, you got Mahomes. We could be down 31 points and still be in this game to win. I mean, that team can't take their foot off the gas because we're so talented. And so I wonder too, I don't know, but I've never been on a team like that, but I wonder just the sort of mental aspect of knowing we are so good and so talented that it really probably isn't going to come down to me whether we win or lose this game. And so I can play relaxed and play with swagger, run around the field and not be worried to make mistakes because we got Hall of Famers all over the field that can pick it up and get us a W down the, later in the game. And so I wonder if that's part of it as well, just the confidence to have those guys around.
It certainly feels like they're playing more free and flying around. I mean, it's still within the structure of the defense and all of that, but it certainly feels that way. And to be the youngest defense in the NFL and be doing that level, playing at that level and performing at that level within the structure is just incredible. It really is. So let's get into some tape here. We got a couple run plays to start, a couple pass plays here towards the end. We're going to fire off here. Once again, seeing this sort of 3-3-5 defense where you've got a little bit more of a 4-0-4 front. It's not exactly. It's a little shifted over because they've got a condensed formation over here. You got Drew Tranquil on the outside. You got Leo Chanel on the other side. And Jack Cochran filling in for Nick Bolton, who was out this week on the outside here. And just watching the way that the defensive line muddies up the interior here and the outside, basically the force defenders come in and clean up. It is really fun to watch how sound this is here. Mike, let's start with you because the line is doing some work here. What do you see?
It's just so funny watching these guys, like especially Chris. And I mean, it's played perfectly up front. And what's interesting is these guys are so strong and so technically sound up front that it almost looks like a Chicago's, not trying hard, but they're obviously trying. It's just the guys playing is so much better. Like, look at 9-5. This, I guess this is just sort of a man block. I'm assuming they'd want to scoop this normally, but with 54 right up on 75, he probably has to account for him. But you have, what is this, the same side? Look, can you just run it one more time?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is a near gun, and they're just running. This is like a crunch play.
Yep.
What is that? Like all the doubles up. I mean, it's just, this is like we're going to run, this is man on man. We're going to run down your throat type thing. And you just have no movement on the defensive line. Defensive line plays all the blocks. And look at all the backers flying through there because all those double teams are stopped on the line of scrimmage. And you can't run the football if you can't get up to the second level. And to get up to the second level, you have to move those guys up front. And so it's just played so well across the board. You have all these double teams getting stuffed and backers running through. I mean, this was the type of thing that I would watch on film. I don't care if I had 4 sacks in the game. If I was able to consistently play the run like this, I could sleep well at night. I mean, this is really good run defense up front.
Yeah, that's why I like playing behind DeVito because he's all about building a wall up front and not getting movement just so these guys don't come up to the second level. And Mike's right, man. This is building a wall. And if I was Chicago, I would say, we got to check out of this, guys, because they have everybody up here ready to go. And the biggest thing, everybody's playing with confidence and everybody's trying to make a play. It's not, we'll let somebody make a play. Like, no, when you're free, go make a play. Like you see these guys coming off the edge, like they want to go make a play. Nobody's waiting for somebody to make a play. Everybody's doing their job and helping and doing some, even more than that. And this is just old school kick butt. We're better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just so to spotlight one guy, look at 9-8, right? To DJ's point. That's kind of a weird technique, right? In the 2-eye on this, inside. So you don't know who's the postman, who's the drive man. and he picks the guard, which I love, right? So he's going to use the guard as his postman, hit back into the center. And this double team is really, that's a hard double team to get up to the next level when you play it like that. But a lot of guys will try to play into the center and hip into the guard. And I think 98 just does it the right way here. I mean, I think this is a good way to do it. But it's weird. The timing of this block is weird because your postman is further off the ball, obviously, than your center, than your drive man. So it plays weird. So as that 2i, you have to attack it. In fact, what I like to do in this situation is switch my stance. So I put the other hand down and and the other foot back and fire off into 69 there because it's just a weird, this 2i inside is a weird type. It's a weird block, but 9-8 plays it perfectly, plays into the guard, hips back into the center. And not only are they not moving, but they can't get up to anybody. That was really well done.
Yeah, and just to add to that, while we're talking X's and O's, that other stacked linebacker, Chanel 54, is on the line. So that's why they're really hanging on to 98. They're trying to really double team up to him because usually 43 is scooted over more to the strong side, so they can double up to him. But 54 is who they want to double up to, but he's on the line. So it's actually a funky look, but it's I wouldn't, if I was Chicago, you got to check out,
Go run it. And this is why I loved playing with DJ, because you see how 43 is sitting there and those guys are hanging on him. If that was DJ, forget it. They have.
Oh yeah, that gap is shot right there.
Heavy double teams. You got to shoot it, because when you shoot it, it actually helps out the double team, because he actually try to come off. I don't think he's going to get me, but he's going to try to come off, and that's going to free up Mike to have one-on-one.
Yeah, absolutely. Do want to highlight Trent McDuffie coming off the edge here, just because his game and run support, we didn't pull all the clips for him, but 22 coming off the left side of your screen right here. Really like the footwork to see out, sure that he's given the ball and then collapse down there. When you have a slot DB that can play like that, it makes your life a lot easier in the front seven, doesn't it?
That's a good point, Craig. I didn't see. He put a little spice in there at the end, and normally you see those guys tiptoeing in there, and he came in and laid it. So that was good. Yeah, that's really nice.
Absolutely. All right, another run play here. What we're going to see is Chiefs in a 4-3 under look. Again, you've got Leo Chanel walked up on the line of scrimmage opposite the Y tight end here, and you're just going to kind of see how much it messes with the blocking scheme here. Once again, just absolutely muddies up the blocking up front for Chicago here. And then Willie Gay Jr., like DJ was mentioning earlier, 50, sees that gap, sees that double, goes ahead and shoots it up there and creates problems up front here.
DJ, forget it. But just Chicago, why would you run this play? There's too many people to the left. I just don't understand what you're thinking. You have a hard YY, so I get it. You're going to get people thinking the other way, but you're really banking on the nose not playing that block well, and that that guard being able to get up. I mean, that's a dead play just because you can't run open in this defense.
Who made this play? Who made the? I'm trying to.
I think Willie actually steps in and makes the play here. Gets into the backfield and makes the play. Derek Nottie does some good work too, but Willie gets credit for it.
I mean, don't you think?
Oh, got you. Absolutely. See, so this is exactly what I'm talking about with Willie Gay. Just pressing the issue, not waiting, because there's a timing thing with playing a linebacker. When you have a hole open up, at times, depending on the angle, you need to shoot it, and that helps out the two technique right here, just so he can have one-on-one block now with Nottie. But I mean, this again, just what you said, Mike. This is one of those things where they shouldn't run it. I mean, they just shouldn't run it. But they do have numbers. They do have a hat on the hat, but we're kicking their butt. So I mean, it's just, I mean, this is just old school football and just getting downhill, and everybody's doing their job. That's the one thing I like about this.
Yeah.
Everybody's building the wall. Everybody's playing tough, and it's not perfect. Sometimes on the defense side of the ball, we want everything to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's about dominance. You can still dominate just by, hey, even if you have a wrong step or too slow on this, just bite your tails off, man. And when you get a lot of people doing that, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, no question. And you're right. You know what I didn't see too? I mean, it's still not a great design, but they bring 13 in to try to block.
Yeah, they got the slot receiver trying to crack down on Willie here, which big mistake. Yeah.
Hey, look at 91 here. I mean, this is the stuff I love. Look at when he plays this scoop, look at his hand on the outside. He's not only is he playing the block, but he's aware I'm old guy, 50's gonna be free getting through there. And that's just such like in Andy Reid terms, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think DJ, I don't know if you might have been alluding to it, but 56, you got to be a little bit careful there. You don't want, he could get off. Now just stay outside. You know what I mean? Don't arm over inside there.
Yeah. But, now, let's say if you're going to do that, if you're going to slip, you gotta just do it and go, and then I'll read out for you. I would really gay. I would say now I got to go outside. Just don't muddy it up for me. If you're going to do it, do it.
Oh, and that's so right. Like that's one of the reasons our defense was so good all the way through. Ewing, Tamba, and Justin leaving is you guys played with it. Knew how each other was going to play. So Tamba hit that right away, and you would play right off because it was you guys were so in tune with each other. So yes, no, you're exactly right. Like we used to talk a lot, the backers and the defensive. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm doing. If you go, just stay there. I think for one of the hardest things that I had to get used to in Kansas City was I did a lot of two gapping in New York where I would go this and that and this and that back and forth. And I remember DJ saying at the beginning, like, bro, just put your head on one side. Yeah. And I'll cover the other side. Yeah. When you're going back and forth, I don't know what to do. Like, I'll make you right. Just pick one side, And you guys were so in tune on the outside that you're exactly right. I mean, Talbot would have hit this right inside, and you would have been right around the outside.
Yep, exactly. And the good thing about what Mike was alluding to keep his head on one side or the other. And guess what? If I trigger fast, he's probably gonna come right back to you. So just stay in there and push and try to penetrate because the ball's probably coming back to you.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. And shout out to Malik Herring, 94 here. He's part of this YY. He's kicked down right across from 84. They try and scoop him a little bit here, and it does not work out. And he runs. That's perfect. That's exactly what you have to do as a defensive end in that scenario. Doesn't end up with a stat or anything on that play, but shuts down any sort of cutback lane that might develop there for the running back. So
they would have got me because I never would have stepped down. Because I would have played right into 84. So this year, right, that is good.
Well, I feel Mike don't want him to that weird kind of cut. You know how they cut you off on it? Oh, that's a bad block. You don't want that.
And tight ends are good on it because they're like sneaky. You know what I mean? It's all of a sudden he's in front of you. Like, damn.
All right, we're gonna shift over here. We're gonna go a little bit of a wide view on this play. We're gonna show. We don't talk a ton about the secondary on this show, but we are going to talk about some of their performances today and just kind of the organization, the communication on the back end here. You can see everybody doing a good job communicating. You drop this other safety back out here into a cover 2 look, and you're going to see everybody pass everything off accurately, sit on everything, and then L'Jarius Sneed flying forward in the flat here, 38. This is textbook cover 2. And DJ, I know you guys played a lot of it as well, but what a great job by the linebackers, slot defenders, cornerbacks, just stepping up and covering this, passing everything off, and allowing L'Jarius Sneed to trigger downhill and make this stop.
Yeah, they Spagnolia, Spags tricked me on this one. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, I think they're about to either do a cover 3 or some kind of fire zone or some kind of simulated pressure. Something's about to happen right now. I just know it. But everybody bags out, and everybody. The biggest thing with zone coverage, especially when you have mesh route concepts coming around, like drags coming from the right, coming from the left. If cover 2 is perfect, like everybody zone off, look at the quarterback, pass it off, and it'll just. I mean, this is zone poetry in motion right here. I mean, this is good stuff. I mean, for them to see. It's all about seeing the throw. Like in the zone, if you can see the quarterback throw the ball, if you're a linebacker or a defensive back, good things happen. And Snead, again, makes a ton of plays for our defense. Just triggers fast. And, I mean, he's a cornerback, but he's a safety too. I mean, he does it all.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what's great about this too is the guys can, in the back end, are moving around, but get to the spot that they need to get to, right? Because, Fields, not that Fields is a bad quarterback, but you have a younger guy, he's figuring it out. But there are going to be times that you play quarterbacks that are really trying to hone in on, where are they lined up so they can get an advantage and they get an idea of what the coverage is going to be. These guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
And at the last second, everybody's in the right spot. And that's how you beat the Mannings and the Bradys and all of that is you don't give them anything till the snap of the football. But you got to be careful because you don't want to be out of position either. So they do a great job of sort of walking that tension right now.
We need to save that play, that disguise for a more experienced quarterback. I'll tell you what, that looked good right there.
Yeah, it absolutely does. This mesh sit route, having Cole Kmet, 85, come in here in the sit, there are a lot of times I watch a lot of defenses where they don't pick up this sit route. This mesh concept pulls these two, interior guys out a little bit wider, and this 85 is wide open in the middle of the field. So that's a great job. I'm not exactly sure what the coverage adjustment is there, but a great job by 21 to pick it up because there's nobody here. Like, this is a third down play. There's nobody here. And so Justin Fields, trying to give his guy space on the outside.
Yeah, he wants to, Craig, he wants to go to that middle guy, that 85. Gotcha. So that's the route that's always open. We used to call it double cross basic. We call it a basic route, but he actually sits down. Like he could find his way in the middle and just playing with confidence. Drew plays with, is that Drew right there covering him?
No, that's actually Mike Edwards, the Chiefs dime safety. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So Edwards does a great job right here, just being able to because he has the middle read off this guy, but that guy isn't giving him speed. So that tells you should slow down too, and then just be ready to drive on. This is great.
It's great.
DJ, when you were making these, because I've seen you, obviously you're not playing corner, but I've seen you make these tackles a ton on these outside type plays. What is your aiming point when you're, because I mean, this is a great tackle. This guy doesn't make this, and this is off to the races. You made a ton of these. How are you approaching this tackle? I remember when I first got in the league, Eric Mangini was my coach when I was with the Jets. And to start every practice, you'd be 15 yards apart, and it would be a live tackling drill where the big guys had to try to tackle the small guy. And I would miss every single time. And so I have a lot of respect for guys that can get this done. That's a hard tackle. So yeah, DJ, what's going through your mind when you see this?
Yeah, in space in general, it's hard to tackle when you get in space. That's why offenses want us to spread us out, get us in kind of somehow a mismatch where we can, so they can use their athletic ability on us in space. But I tell you what, man, tackling is probably the hardest job that you have, especially in space. That's the hardest job to do. But being able to see the quarterback, being able to have a good break, just so when he catches, it's a bang, bang play. Now he doesn't have an opportunity to set me up and give me something, and I have to, go through my whole little, smelling his breath before you throw and all that stuff. That's out the window. I got a good break, so now I just, he can't run without his legs. I was told one time before that I was the best low tackling linebacker ever, in the league, because a lot of if you look at a lot of my highlights, it's a lot. Half of them I'm cutting them down like trees, and it's kind of a DB mentality. But I tell you what, man, I had the speed to get a jump on the ball and to just be able to really not really lunge at their knees or their ankles or anything, but the thigh area, being able that area to take that out. And then if I go lower, I go lower, but they can't run without their legs.
Yeah, that's good.
No, that's a great question, Mike. I've always wondered that myself. Yeah. All right. Final one here. We're going to see another wide one, but this is actually a fantastic play by Mike Dana, number 51 here on the edge. We're going to start with the wide. We're going to have some, closer views here. running quarterback. We talked about it a lot over the years. It's hard to keep those guys in the pocket. It's hard to sniff out some of those things. And you watch 51 here on the bottom of the screen, along the in-man on the line of scrimmage here, and you're just going to see him play this about as perfectly as you can to make sure that Justin Fields does not escape, does not get loose on this play. I did want to keep it with the wide view real quick here because the secondary does a phenomenal job here. Like this is all very, very well covered. Justin Fields has nobody to go to here. I know he wants to hit this big, deep post in the middle of the field here, but it's just not there for him. But credit to Mike Dana and Willie Gay Jr. here, but playing this so well in space.
Yeah, this is really...
Yeah. Mike Dana just kind of, keeps showing up, man. I think he's a heck of a football player. I don't know him personally, but 51 shows up a lot. He thinks really smart, and he seems like a tough guy. He seems like a tough guy. Like, and again, he's getting blocked by a running back here.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter, right? It's a standard. No, you can't handle me. Let me ring you around like a rag doll and go make sure my responsibility is covered. And that's making sure Justin Fields, knowing that he's a running quarterback, but being able to secure the outside, then throw him by. I mean, let everybody else in the back end do their thing, man. It's this is great. This is teach tape right here. This is good.
This really is good. And I remember as a defensive lineman, we used to call this elephants on parade with this rollout stuff. And it's interesting because there's just something about the way the offensive line blocks that you can tell that it's not, it's a something's going on. It's not, it's elephants on parade. It just feels different in there. And I like the way 94, he reacts quick and runs down the line. Gets in on this. I mean, that's a lot of running. I would have to keep running right off the sideline. I'd be exhausted after that. But this is a really good reaction where you see he knows right away. Yeah, there's something's up here, and then Dana keeps his leverage, forces him. I mean, that was just this is great technique. And Craig, like you said, being the youngest defense, this is the stuff that you usually see later on as guys start to master the defense, master the techniques. But these guys have figured it out early, which is just.
Now I do want to say, Dana could have took the easy way out, and that's go inside early, right? Just go early, and Justin Fields, I'm telling you, he would have just took off running and would have made it first down. He would have took off running, but he gave him an opportunity to say, no, let me get outside. Justin Fields, stay in the pocket, and then I can transfer and transition to my inside rush.
Yeah, and I shouted out Willie Gay. It's actually Drew Tranquil doing a good job spying Justin Fields, making sure that he doesn't get loose. This is a first down play. Like this sets you up and keeps you ahead of the sticks on something. They were looking for a big play on first down to try and get something going, and instead, it's just because 51 plays this so well, 23 plays it so well, 94 plays it so well. Now they're behind the sticks. Now they're trying to play catch up, and that was basically the story of the day for what the defense did. And so, yeah, again, like you mentioned there, Mike and DJ, it's just so sound. Like everything just works. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's executing at a high level. It's just so fun to watch right now.
Yeah, no, without question. I mean, it's special. And again, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but it goes back to the culture of Kansas City that they come in as a team, leave as a family. I mean, this really is family, and everybody works. And I've said it when I got there to watch Hall of Famers like DJ and Tom Bunn, Eric Berry working like undrafted free agents. And those guys set the standard, and it still permeates that locker room because the only way to get this stuff done and be this sound this early in your career is to work hard at it. And these guys do. And it's the culture that's been built since Andy Reid's been in Kansas City.
So true. I did all that. I know when Mike said that, that is so true. Like when your star players work really hard, it's the other players have to. It's just just like, dude, that's the only way to go. And you set a great example like that. You have good clips like this. A lot more on.
I mean, I am still here on the team pay Mike Dana right now train. He's just getting more expensive as this season goes along.
Hey, you know what? I tell people all the time, man, to these teams, man, when you have a really good player and you see him, jump on it, man. Give him a little bit. I literally remember when Justin Houston was I think they were saying 60 million or something, and he kind of wanted, a little bit more than Tumba, just, because it was a little bit later, like, maybe 70 or something. And they, we did it. And then later on, after the season, it got from 70 to 100. So I
remember that.
Got to pull the trigger early. I'm just gonna say it on every podcast I'm on right now. Pay Mike Dana. Just pay him right now, man. Pay him right now. All right. I really appreciate DJ and Mike jumping on, doing this with me again this week. We do this every week. Looking forward to covering the Chiefs against the Jets, another offense that's in a little bit of turmoil. Maybe the Chiefs can feast the way that they did against the Bears. Donate to Derrick Johnson's Defend the Dream Foundation. The link is right down here. If you are on YouTube, it is in the description. If you are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go there, throw a little money his way. We really appreciate him taking time out to do this. I appreciate everybody listening all the way through here. We love doing this. We love doing this for you, and we love the responses that you give us when we do it. Be kind to each other, and we will catch you later.